Circle of fire with outside butterfly. 1, 2, 3. Okay. We're catching and striking the elbow. And what we're going to do here is we're going to come in and we're going to slip under and pull the arm away, striking to the ribs. And you see this in the beginning at 7 ribs break. Then we come in here, rake, heavy hand, elbow. We're going to slap the head and elbow the bottom jaw. From here, we're going to do an upward rising fist and chin lift. Come down to the collarbone, eye rake, and tiger paw at the throat. So it's going to look something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just like that. Pretty easy to do. When you think about Circle of Fire, you think about all the things you can add to it. It lends itself beautifully to a number of different moves and a number of different additions. Like practically any technique in Kempo or Tai, there is no end to the modifications you can make. When I look at this, what I'm looking at when I extend the technique is ideas. What if something doesn't work? What if something is blocked? I can't strike. What if that person moves and I miss my target? Do I have something to fall back on? This all comes down to transitional actions. And when I make that move and I miss my target, which is entirely possible, or the person changes, or they fall down, they're not there anymore, what do I do next? If they fall down, I can assume that the fight is over, but it may not be. If it's circumstantial, for instance, for some reason or another, a particular strike isn't effective enough, I move on. So adding these moves to any technique is a way of learning to transition effortlessly. If you can do that, you've got control of the technique completely. You've made it yours. So when I first look at Circle of Fire in terms of the basic inward outward block, here I'm also looking at what's this hand doing. Well, it's not standing here. I'm actually going to strike the ribs. So when he throws that left punch, I come in and strike him here. Then this arm pulls back, strike, elbow, rise, hammer fist, poke, and strike. The reason for all this, again, is flow. Take any technique you've got, add to it, subtract it. Which, by that I mean take away a move and see how well you can modify the technique. If something doesn't work, if you've missed a move, which happens under the best of circumstances, you have to be able to move on. Otherwise the fight is no longer in control. You're no longer in control of the fight. You've kind of lost the initiative there. So, we see this move here. 1, throws another punch. What do? I continue to move. The same move is still available. I just transition. I use this hand for another purpose. So, we've got a left-right punch, right? What we're going to do with that left and right punch is exactly the same thing we did before with just the left punch. We're going to do everything exactly the same. Say the same. So anytime you see a technique where you have the opportunity to change it because circumstances demand that, it doesn't necessarily mean the technique is not going to work. All it means is you have to flow with it.